Good evening. Good evening. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the first inaugural episode of Be the Message podcast. I am your Queen Angel Simmons, your Miss Midwest Revolutionary Purpose for the Revolutionary Pageant System. And I will be talking to you this month. We have a very special guest. If you are paying any attention to the news, then you know that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and this is going to be the theme for our show. Just to give you a little background, my platform for revolutionary pageant system is Be the Message, suicide prevention, and mental wellness. So if you are following me on social media, then you have seen a whole lot of me on Instagram and Facebook in regards to that platform, events that I have been at, awareness that I've shared, and even some information about domestic violence this month. This year's theme for Domestic Violence Awareness Month is with survivors always. With survivors always. So, Be the Message podcast is all about shedding light, giving a voice to causes and people that are making necessary and significant change today in their own personal missions right where they are. So you're going to see a whole lot of my friends because all my friends are famous, and that's just how it rolls. That's how it rolls. Okay. So I love education. I am an educator. Some of that you'll find in my bio, some of the work that I have done in the past in education and with other organizations. But because I'm an educator, I am really big on statistics. So I cannot start this show without giving you some education. Okay. So in regards to Domestic Violence Awareness Month, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have been victims of severe physical violence in an intimate partner relationship. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men. According to the Domestic Violence Hotline, an average of 24 people per minute. I got to pause whenever I read this. An average of 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner in the United States. That is more than 12 million women and men over the course of a year. It's more than 24 people per minute. I just really want that to sink in, okay? 2/3 of female stalking victims are stalked by a current or former intimate partner. Over 40% of male stalking victims are stalked by partners or acquaintances, okay? I know it's a lot of information, and I know this topic is very heavy. I'm going to do my best to keep it as light as I possibly can, but I can't. Okay. This is a heavy topic. So if you're going to be uncomfortable, I understand. Some of these statistics are very unnerving. I understand, but this is the truth. These are the facts. And this is why we're here. We're shedding light on this cause. We're shedding light on this awareness month. We're shedding light on survivors. If you have seen any of my videos, you know the motto for this month for me: believe victims, report abuse, and support survivors. You're going to hear me say that again several times tonight. Believe victims, report abuse, support survivors. Okay. Are you a safe space for victims of domestic violence? You, talking to you. Can you provide them with life-saving resources? You. Can you do that? Are you willing to help them get to shelter? Are you willing to do that? How far are you willing to go to break the silence of domestic violence? If you've been following me on social media, then you've seen I've been asking these questions all month. Same 4 questions all month for October. There are some special videos that are posted with tips to help you get involved and to help you save a life. If you need help for yourself or for someone else, the National Domestic Violence Hotline number is 800-799-7233. You'll hear me call that number out again. If you're watching and you need me to put it in the comments, if you're watching, put it in the comments before I do so somebody else can see it. Domestic Violence Hotline, 800-799-7233. Or you can go online, www.thehotline.org. Thehotline.org. It is free, 24/7, confidential, help available for anybody that is in need of support, or if you are supporting someone else. If you need some other resources, one of my books, I am a published author, author of Love's Great Design, Uncovering the Power and Purpose of Human Relationship, which is a 52-week devotional. This is just some love for your mind. If you need some love for your mind, this is a journey through healthy purposes of relationship, human relationship. If you have ever been a victim of narcissistic abuse, my second book, Target of Love, Surviving Narcissistic Abuse, is on here. This is a journey back to Love's Great Design. You can get both of these on my website, angelsimmons.com, or on Amazon, or on digital. Target of Love is on audio. Listen, if you need it, it's available for you. But again, hotline number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 800-799-7233, or www.thehotline.org. Okay. Speaking of survivors, I have a dynamite first guest for you this evening in recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. She is the founder and co-owner and executive producer of the Ultimate Universe Pageant System. She is your current Miss Atlanta, Georgia, Corporate America. Okay. She is a seasoned pageant competitor, coach, and judge, author, model, wife, the queen of Slay. All right. Address her properly. The queen of Slay. But also a domestic violence survivor and champion. And I am honored to bring on my friend, Miss April Rose Smith, Queen April Rose Smith, to the first inaugural episode of Be the Message podcast with Queen Angel.
Hey, sis, how you doing?
I am much better seeing your face. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to have you here. Now, we've been showing this video for a few weeks now, okay?
Yes.
Announcing this episode, and people went crazy. And I had never heard this song before. I asked you, what song do I put on here? You right away had an answer for me. Tell me about the Champion song.
Oh, I think I heard that song mid-2019 when I was starting to come out of what I now know was a abusive relationship. And for whatever reason, I kept hearing this song. And as I was putting my pieces back together alone with two children, I had to remind myself just who I was and whose I was and who I was raised by. And that this was something so very small that, it's a big thing, right? But to someone like me, it's a very small thing to have to get over. So I had to almost trick my mind into thinking, this is nothing to a small giant. This is small things to a giant, and just moving forward. So I am a champion became my mantra. That and Destiny's Child, Survivor. That was my second runner-up. So those two were kind of on my playlist on rotation as I started to rebuild. So I am a champion definitely resonates with me.
Good. I had not heard that song, but now it's on my playlist. Especially with Luda coming
right.
in on the end. Okay, we can't ignore Luda. All right. Tell me, how does your past connect with your passion and your pageant platforms today?
So just to let everybody know what my platform is. My platform is I show my scars so others can heal by bringing awareness to domestic abuse. And I don't say domestic violence because the world is triggered when they see a man or a woman with a black eye. But what about the scars that you cannot see? The mental and the emotional trauma that many of us have to overcome silently and oftentimes alone because nobody understands what a dog whistle is. But we understand what it is because we've had to endure those things. So, with where I am today, career wise, pageantry, I think that my platform resonates in so many ways with so many different people. And I'm able to use my story as number one, a story, a lesson, and an inspiration to show everyone that if I can do this, so can you.
Thank you. Very powerful. You mentioned mental health, so I'm going to mention mental health, obviously. How did your experience with domestic violence affect your mental health and your wellness? Oh, she took her glasses off.
Because I don't talk about my story a lot. I tell everybody that I'm a domestic violence survivor, but very often I don't expound on the things that I've been through. The last time I did this was about 2 years ago, where I spoke to women from Dress for Success in the Twin Cities and actually told my story. So while I would love to keep my glasses on, I want you to see me on an intimate level because this is exactly what this is. Very intimate. Um, Ask me that question one more time, please.
How did your experience with domestic violence affect your mental health and wellness?
It tore me to shreds because everything that I thought I was as a woman, I questioned. Everything I thought I was as a mother, I questioned. And I questioned these things because honestly, the first person to be aware that I was a victim of domestic violence was my now 23-year-old daughter. And seeing those scars and those bruises while she was helping me do something else. And I happened to have to, wash paint off of my body. And she actually saw the bruises and just the look on her face, the horror that she looked at me with. I don't think I'll ever forget it. So when I say it tore me apart mentally, because how can I tell my daughter not to allow these things to happen when the strongest person that she knows has allowed them to happen to her? That's some different stuff. Then having to explain to everyone at one time because my daughter was like, if you don't tell, I'm telling today. So literally my secret came out in so many different ways. It was manifested with my family at the same time, and I was also ousted on social media, um, because I was also being cheated on at the same time while being impacted in that way.
Okay.
So to protect myself, I had to tell the entire story,
Mm,
which I hadn't even sat with myself. So now I'm having to not only tell my parents, my child, but strangers that something has happened to me, and then dealing with people not believing you because I smiled all the time. And I often tell people you have to look beyond what you see in front of you. Just because a domestic violence victim is smiling does not mean that they're happy. That means they're hiding and they're doing a very good job at it.
how old was your daughter at that time?
At that time, she was 16, 17 years old.
Mm, okay.
And the disappointment, she kept saying, "Oh, mom, what is this?" And I'm trying to, protect her still. It's nothing. I ran into something and she's like, "Mom, no, this is everywhere." My nails were broken and she started to even notice that my fingernails had been broken.
Mm,
One by one, they had been broken. And they were so damaged that I couldn't even get acrylic nails put on my hands. So just revealing all of this in the matter of a week. it's definitely, challenging to the mental health, to say the least. Because number one, you have to try to heal yourself while you're going through telling a story that no one will understand.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, my mother lived with me because I was a single mom and I needed help with my children. And she didn't know. So even she was kind of questioning, how was I able to hide so well? And I came home almost every night, you know, and I hid.
As a mother of two daughters now, what have you taught them about survival?
First of all, I taught them resilience. If you're resilient, you can survive. I can't teach you survival, but I can teach you resilience.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
come from a line of women who were resilient. So this is something that's in their genetic makeup, their DNA. I don't have to teach it to them. All I have to do is tap into it to let them know that, hey, you come from me and so many other powerful, amazing women. My mother is a, survivor of alcoholism and drug abuse. My grandmother lost her legs in her 60s and had to rehabilitate herself and learn to walk again in her 60s. So we've seen resilience in my family. So that's easy. So now the survival part is tricking your mind to believing that this is just the moment.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get past the moment, I can conquer anything. This is just the moment. And that is how I look at most things in my life. This is just the moment. So even when I'm counseling others or when I'm mentoring others, I often seem very hard because of the life I've had to, transition through. So my, message to many people is this is just the moment. Mind over matter. What are we going to do to get past this? How are we going to think past this? Most of the things that impact us in life, if we just take a step back, calm down, center ourselves, and think beyond it, it's easier than we think.
Wow. I love that. So I can't teach you survival, but I can teach you resilience.
Yes.
That speaks very loudly. What words of wisdom do you have for people that are hiding? You use that word more than once. People that are hiding in abusive relationships. What words of wisdom would you have for them?
Don't let anybody rush you into the light.
Okay, say
And I
more.
say that because as a victim, and I would love to say that I'm a survivor, but I'm a victim surviving because every day is a new day. Every challenge is a new challenge. And just when I think that I'm beyond it, something happens that brings me right back to where I was. For instance, September 5th was synonymous this year for two things. Not only was I turning 44, and I think I blew up 44, but I was
And
supposed to come
did.
out.
And
Thank you.
did.
Thank you.
Yes.
But I was also supposed to come out with my book about the journey, and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't because there was still so much more work that I had to do with me. And as I was cycling through my most recent bouts of mental health as it relates to being a domestic violence survivor, I spoke to my best friend, Aisha, and I said, I'm hurt because I can't release this book.
Mm.
And she said, in time, you'll be able to. So don't let anybody rush you into the light. It takes time. And it takes time not only to explain your story to others, but it takes time for you to give yourself the grace to forgive yourself. That's a grace there that most people who aren't impacted by domestic violence or domestic abuse don't understand that we as victims need. We need that space to be able to just deal with the fact that we've loved too much.
Hmm.
We've given too much. We've And there's this thing about grace. And everybody loves to tell me, oh, be graceful, give grace. But for 43 years, I have given grace. At some point, you have to put yourself forward first and say, grace has run out. So give yourself the grace to say, I'm ready to tell my story. It's no one's story but yours. So don't rush it. Don't feel like you owe it to anyone but yourself. And I think that was the mistake that I made. Someone forced me, or something forced me into the light. And I wasn't able to even center myself to sit with the fact that I knew. Since I knew, because a red flag was there. I knew. I saw the evidence of the woman before me. I knew.
That's hard.
But I was so
That's
arrogant.
hard.
I was so arrogant. That could never be me. And what we don't understand about abusive people, they find new and innovative ways to abuse. They never do the same thing because they've already gotten in trouble for that. So now they're going to find a new way. And with domestic abuse, and as you know, narcissistic abuse, it's a game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
It's a game of mental cat and mouse. You doubt your entire existence.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know you understand how long it takes to even center yourself back to who you were. Like there's no factory reset. I'm never going to be the same. I can strive to be better. And I think that's what lots of people see of me now. The innate fight to be better. Because something or someone attempted to break me. And in my fight back to who I was, I continue to reinvent myself to be better.
What would you say about your experience has empowered you the most?
I would say what has empowered me the most is the fact that now I feel that I am invincible. Who would have thought someone like me? And when I say someone like me, I grew up on the west side of Atlanta. When what is it? Young Dro said West Side, Bankhead. That's where I'm from. That's where I'm from. I am Atlanta, born and raised. I am a Grady baby. I was also homeless at the age of 13 with my father. I didn't graduate high school. I took the very long way around. So I'm talking about GED, associate's degrees, bachelor's degrees, holding a kid. I had my kid at 21 years old. So my child grew up with me. So the thing that inspires me the most is I'm invincible. I can meet almost anyone where they are because I've done it. I've been there. And I can show you how to rebound and be better than what you were. It's going to be work. It's going to be tough. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be tough with you because life was tough on me. And I didn't have someone standing next to me in the capacity of a coach to say, hey, this is what you need to do. It was little April in the mirror hyping her bestie up.
Okay.
Me, I'm my bestie. I hype me up every morning, even as a married woman. I don't put that on him. He don't even understand. He don't understand. So that's unfair. So every morning I wake up and I'm hyping me up to understand that it's just the moment.
Tell the story. Tell the story. We didn't talk about this. Tell
Uh-oh.
the story about being 6'2".
Okay.
Tell that
So
story.
6'2", 6'3", 6 foot, 7 foot. Okay, so in my everyday life, I am a global human resources business partner, meaning I travel all around the world, just touching the lives of anyone that I can come in contact with. When I decided to compete again this year, it took a very long time for me to figure out where I wanted to be. I'm Mrs. Georgia International 2023, and I absolutely love that system and the title. I've competed in the Mrs. America system. Um, that one was nice as well, but I'm 4'10". So oftentimes mainstream pageants want the 5'8" and thin. I'm
Mm-hmm.
4'10" and curvy. So, it is what it is, and I'm not trying to change it. And I'm bald, and I will refuse to put on hair. Been there, done that, and after you spent $1,700 on pictures and you don't know who's in the camera, you won't do that again. So,
You will
so,
not do that again.
so when I decided to compete again, I chose the Mrs. Corporate America pageant because I felt like, this is where I am in life right now. Pageantries is definitely important to me, but so is my career. Almost more than anything else right now. Just
Mm-hmm.
building myself in my career is the most important thing. So I think that, well, I thought that, corporate America would have been a great place for me to land.
Mm-hmm.
So got my crown and sash. Well, not even a crown. I got a sash maybe about a week ago. Is it a week?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then I've instantly gone to work.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, the crown has been to the sash has been to 2 states and 2 different cities already. So walking into San Antonio, they had never met their human resources business partner at all. And I walk in and immediately I'm in my mode. I'm in my zone. I'm in work mode. So after my visit was over and they had an opportunity to acclimate with me and get to know me, um, one of the managers asked, how tall was I? And I said, oh, I'm 4'10". And this is after they've told me how cute I was all day. They've talked about my accessories that I don't have on. I don't have on earrings. I do apologize, y'all. They talked about everything from my outfits all the way down, which was so cool that they paid that much attention to me. But when the center manager asked how tall I was, I said that I was 4'10". And he said, your persona is 6'2". And I was like, I laughed at it, but that's oftentimes what I've heard. I hear that I'm quite intense and intimidating, and that's totally not, who I am as a person. I'm like the smallest little Care Bear in the bunch. I'm gonna make you laugh. I'm gonna smile. We're gonna drink Starbucks together. It's gonna be a great time. But it was kind of interesting to see, how they viewed me upon, meeting me and what the response was leaving. And I love the response leaving. And that's kind of my purpose with Crowns Across America, just to positively impact so many people that I meet.
I love that. I love that. I
Thank
don't
you.
know who you talking about though, because I call you spicy. Naisha sugar, she spice. I'm whatever else.
You the key that hold it together.
Good evening to Mr. Ultimate Universe Emperor, King Eric. Good evening to Mr. AWB Man of Distinction,
They're my boys. Hey,
Queen
y'all.
Sheraton in here. Thank you all for joining. I see some other people have popped on and off, and that's perfectly fine. You can introduce yourself. We would love that. If not, it's cool. Um, you was talking about career and Miss Corporate America. You was talking about being in other states. Talk to me about Crowns Across America.
Ooh. So when I decided that I wanted to compete, right, I have a very busy, work life. Oftentimes I'm working till midnight at night and my husband is asleep, or, I'm just up at 5 o'clock in the morning before the crack of dawn because there's just so much to do with what I do on a daily basis. Um, I wanted to figure out a way that was, number one, impactful and inspiring because I had a great director. His name was Eddie Peterson, Miss Georgia International. So shout out to Eddie. Um, he called me performative,
Okay.
and he said to me, "All of that is fluff. it means nothing to nobody but you. Nobody wants to see pictures of you and your husband every day. Who are you impacting? Who are you inspiring? Who are you motivating? And baby, when I tell you that thing has stuck with me, who are you impacting? Who are you inspiring?
With
Who are
your
you
picture.
motivating? Because why do you need a crown? Why do you need that? He told me you could buy that off Amazon.
Oh.
I thought I had somebody that was in here coming to do some work. He said that as I was taking my headshots. And I'm sure everybody has seen my headshots for the last, year that I've been cycling. I was upset that day. I was mad that day. I was mad that day because somebody had called me to the carpet. So going back into this pageant season, who are you Who are you impacting? Who are you inspiring? Who are you motivating? What are you giving back to this system that's going to make them say, hey, this needs to be the next Miss Corporate America right here. She's doing her thing. Not just pictures, not just me standing in front of the dome with my sash smiling. I've not done anything. So I started to think, okay, I travel a lot. Okay, I'm in people culture, because that's what human resources is, people and culture.
Yes, ma'am.
People and culture. It's not that we're like the rule takers or we're not telling you, no, you can't do this. We're culture builders. We're in every facet of your career, positively or negatively, however you want to see it. We're there. So with Miss Corporate America in mind, I wanted to bring visibility to their system. It wasn't just about me as a title holder. I wanted to positively impact this system in such a way that even if I didn't win, it was going to be some really heavy shoes, some really big shoes to fill. So Crown Across America came into play. And I'm a visionary in so many different ways. So I'm like an idea meal. Once I start thinking of things, it just happens to come. So Crowns Across America was my way of giving back to honoring not only women who have started that transition to funnel out of that domestic violence relationship and get back into the workforce, but it was also paying homage to women in leadership who often have to sacrifice so much of themselves. And people don't realize to be successful, we sacrifice. Yes, yeah, I'm a mom. Yeah, I'm a wife. And I'm even an entrepreneur. But I sacrifice a lot of me to be instrumental in all of these places and spaces. So Crowns Across America was my way of paying homage to women in leadership and women who are simply surviving on a day-to-day basis. My first appearance out with Crowns Across America was at a soup kitchen in Nebraska. Wow. In Omaha, Nebraska. I had never been there. I didn't know anybody. I just walked into this soup kitchen and was like, hi, I'm April, and I am Mrs. Atlanta, Georgia, Corporate America, and I would like to volunteer. What can I do? They said, it's lunchtime. I said, let's go.
Let's go.
In my heels, I dressed out, and I fed, I think, about 50 individuals with their staff.
I love that. I love that. And you will see, those of us that are part of the Ultimate Universe family, you will see that Crowns Across America hashtag being used. I've used it anytime I leave my house with sash or shirt or crown or whatever, wherever I'm going. If I'm going to serve, you're going to see that hashtag. So we got a few people on there. Shout out to April Braxton from ACB Photography. Shout out to author Spencer watching. Run my books. Run my books. Author Spencer watching his TT on here. But we are grateful for you. We are grateful for you. We have some powerhouse individuals that are tuned in. Um, so we talked about Crowns Across America. What other upcoming events do you have as Miss Georgia Corporate America? What do you have coming up on your calendar, ma'am?
So I wanted to do something a little bit different. Like I told you, I had one of those in your face directors. So he stays like here in my head often, and he doesn't even know it. Um, so with my Miss Atlanta Georgia Corporate America title, I wanted to do a lot of partnerships with different brands, different major corporations, to just bring visibility to a lot of great brands that I patronize on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
So my very first out of the gate in Atlanta or in Georgia will be with Kendra Scott in Peachtree City. So that will be November 14th, I think, no, November 15th, which is a Saturday. We will all go to Kendra Scott, and we will have a very cute, classy event with macaroons and sparkling, champagne, and we'll shop and spend some money for a good cause. All of the proceeds will go to the Promise Place in Fayetteville, Georgia, which is a domestic violence shelter.
Yes.
And Ultimate Universe Pageant System will also sponsor some things to go to the Promise Place as well.
Mm-hmm.
My second event is going to be with another major sponsor that I patronize on a 2 times a day basis, and that is
Oh,
Starbucks.
I know this one.
So it's
They know
great.
her name when she pull up in the drive-through. People.
I don't even place my order. They just look at the screen and say, "Hey, April, is it your normal?" And I just do a thumbs up and pull around. So it's great to be known and loved because when I introduced myself to the actual regional manager of Starbucks in the southeastern region, I was introduced by the store manager because I'm in there so often and I'm speaking and talking about just all of the things that I do so very often. When I asked if it was okay to come in and do some things that are major, they were like, "Oh, absolutely. And we're going to even push this up the corporate ladder." And it's exactly what I wanted. And on a smaller scale, I'm doing an interview workshop at a Nubian bookstore in Clayton County very soon. And I'll have those dates released as soon as they're finalized. So we
Interviews,
have some great
interview
things that we're
workshop for
doing.
job seekers.
Or anyone, whether you're a job seeker or you just want to bone up on those interview skills. What we know as pageant, representatives, most people think they're good at interviewing, they're not. So oftentimes they take those horrible skills to
Work.
interviews for work. And sitting in human resources, we see it often where, parents are now jumping on the Zoom to do the interview with their child and they're wondering why they're not getting that call back. So I want to empower not only, domestic violence survivors and victims, but the youth to know what it looks like to actually go into an interview and excel and win.
Excellent. Excellent. And when is your competition for
Oh,
2026?
so the state pageant is going to be March 29th, 2026 in Braselton, Georgia at Chateau Alon, which is very hoity-toity. And I love that for me because I'm a very bougie individual. So I love everything, anything of opulence, put me there. So I'm very much going to enjoy that. And when I make it to nationals, it will be in July in Orlando because I plan to be at nationals.
I heard what you said. When you make it to
I plan
national,
to be there.
I heard that.
Yeah.
And for Ultimate Universe pageants, what's coming up?
So Ultimate Universe Pageants took a year hiatus because, we had to take a hiatus because I had to take a hiatus for my career. Now that we're back on the scene, I feel like we've given pageantry time enough to, get their bearings together. But we're back September 24th through the 26th in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll be having our national pageant there. So if you're a queen or a king that has a little extra to say on the runway, and you think your fashions are a little bit beyond where pageantry is today, bring those outfits to Ultimate Universe Pageant. We would love to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's Queen April. What else would you like to leave our audience with about your life, your experience, your wisdom? Final words for our viewers?
Ooh, this went by really quick. Um, just please remember that domestic violence doesn't have a look. It can wear a smile, it can wear a crown, it can wear a frown. You'll never know. So look beyond the exterior, and if you see something, speak up. You may be saving a victim's life. And oftentimes we don't think you see us anyway. So it would be a positive to say, hey, I noticed something is wrong. Is everything okay?
I love that. I love that. And that is all about being the message. Thank you, first guest, inaugural show for Be the Message podcast. We are going to hop off with April and don't go nowhere. Don't go anywhere. But thank you so much for being my first guest and for sharing your experience, your vulnerability, your wisdom. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I am moved. I am touched. I am soft and gooey all inside right now. It was a lot. We said it was going to be heavy. We said it was going to be uncomfortable, but it was such a learning experience, and I took so much away. I will never forget. I can't teach you survival, but I can teach you resilience. I will never forget that.
Absolutely.
So thank you
Absolutely.
so much for being a part of this episode, and I will talk to you in a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you. Awesome. Ooh, how was that? How do you feel about that? Awesome, awesome. I am so pleased. Um, Miss Queen, April Rose Smith, uh, our current Miss Atlanta, Georgia, Corporate America. I don't know what else to say. I'm excited. Thank you for joining me for the first episode of Be the Message. This was all about Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The theme for this year is with survivors always. Again, that hotline number, if you don't have it, if you are in need of help for yourself or for someone else, hotline number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 800-799-7233. 800-799-7233. If you want to reach them online, it's thehotline.org. And there are plenty of safety precautions that they put in place if you are viewing on your website. If you're viewing their website on your computer, it has pop-ups that'll tell you, hey, close your browser, hey, close this, whatever, so that it disappears after you have been on there looking for help. But as I always say, believe victims, report abuse, support survivors. This is domestic violence. This is how you help. I'll ask these questions again. Are you a safe space for victims of domestic violence? Can you provide someone with life-saving resources? I just gave you the hotline and the website. Are you willing to help them get to shelter? Do you even know where shelters are in your community or how to find them? How far are you willing to go to break the silence of domestic violence? If you need more tips, check my page out. You can follow me on social media, Angel Simmons on Facebook, um, Miss Midwest Revolutionary Purpose Facebook, Miss Midwest Revolutionary Purpose on Instagram, The Message Media LLC on Instagram, Loves Great Design, Instagram, Facebook. I'm all over the place. So if you find me on one page, you'll find me on all the pages. But there are tips and there are videos that I've been sharing for Domestic Violence Awareness Month that will help you to help someone else and be a help to yourself. Um, I will see you back here in November. I have another show and another guest ready for you. National Authors Day. We're doing a twist because I'll be talking to someone who is an amazing entrepreneur, an amazing author, over 40 projects. Okay. Someone that looks like me, over 40 published projects. And we're going to talk about how mental health affects entrepreneurs. Okay. So see me again November 1st. Any questions? Pop them in the chat, hop in my inbox. Again, domestic violence hotline number 800-799-7233 if you need help or need to help someone else. All right. Thank you. See you next month.